What's up? It's Deya Direct, and we are back, and we are in the minds of men, and they are breaking it down. And so much so that we have to go right back to the money issue because money rules the world. And um, I've been talking about this issue a lot in terms of money and marriage and relationships and how that plays itself out. And you all, in our last segment, you talked about the importance of, communication when it comes to money. And most people, I think, have joint accounts. I'm a firm believer in I have my money, you have your money, and we have our we money, and the household is taken care of. But it's different for a lot of people. And the older you get, you come into relationships under different circumstances. And one key question that someone brought up, and that I know is true, is once you are at a certain point in your life, especially women who have had to do a lot of things on their own, it becomes a little disempowering, I would say. Let's say if it took me 10 years to save up $5,000. Is the expectation that my $5,000 that I saved before we got married now be a part of our joint account?
No.
No,
No.
it's your money. Have fun with it.
Yeah.
But
But let me say this. But you hope that the man is mature enough to understand that and appreciate and to recognize it, that that's her money even before we got to this situation. A lot of people may not think that way.
But now there's the double standard because good and well women aren't gonna feel that way. Your money is our money. What woman do you know who feels differently?
There aren't any, but and there are a few out there, and those are the ones, like you said, that have already had that game. Because as we all know, women mature a whole lot quicker than men. Y'all learn early, as I'm teaching my daughters, how to save a dollar, the value of a dollar. We don't. We try to go to the bottom of the barrel.
So you will tell your daughter to have her own account.
Oh, training them now. Oh, yeah. I want my daughter to be just how my mind thinks, and that's the way my wife's mind thinks now. Like I said, when me and my wife came together, we both had nothing. So
Right.
what we've got together is what we've brought together.
And that's what I find seems to be the difference. When couples start out earlier together in life, then it's never an issue because we start together. When people start out a little later in life, it's like, well, we gonna need to talk about how we gonna do this.
I've had a lot of serious I counsel couples all the time. Couples have come to me with money and said, okay, what should we do? Should we get a prenup? And I've just had to be realistic and say that some people just don't know how to be married.
Yeah.
Regardless of what we say about I don't believe in the divorce, and some people just don't know how to do it. A lot of people with money don't know how to do nothing with their personal life. They know how to be professional. They know how to go get money, but they don't know how to be married. In that case, I
Or
tell
save
them
money.
or save money. In that case, I tell them, hey, maybe a 5-year prenup. Something like that. To whereas, you're not saying over her that, you're not putting a curse on your marriage saying that we would one day get a divorce. Just saying, hey, let's make sure that we've shaken this marriage out and we're both in a good place. We believe in each other. We spent some time together. We built some things together. So now we can go ahead and put everything together.
What do you think are some of the pitfalls as it relates to money in a relationship?
Well, one of the things that we touched on is what discipline that individual person has coming into that marriage and that relationship, because everyone doesn't have the same value of money. Some people don't value money the same, don't appreciate it, haven't learned to appreciate it. So you need to get that worked out early. And one of the things that we mentioned.
Do you think though that you can? How do you learn that before you're actually in the relationship?
How to appreciate money? That comes.
How do you know how that person really handles and values money until you have to actually share it with them?
That's where you got to spend that time together.
Yes.
That's huge, the maturity in that. Because touching on what he was saying, the only problem, and it's not really a problem, the only inkling or issue that I've got with prenups is, to me, a marriage is not a business agreement. That's what a prenup is. You do this, you don't do that, you don't do that, you get this. You do this, you don't get this. I just don't think a marriage should be that way. I've always been of the notion marriage shouldn't be that hard. You're going to have some issues. Our first year, rocky as ever, because it was me. In most cases, it's the man, because we hard-headed, ain't growed up, think we still got it going on.
Got what? Got what?
Oh, got game.
You got
Game.
He wasn't clear when he said it.
Yeah, I put the slang on the it. We think we still got it, and we don't. But that's where we have to grow into our own as men to realize that a woman, you can't force that man to change. That man's got to want to change. In our first year, I was that hard head like I just touched on. Wifey be calling 10, 11 o'clock at night. I'm with the boys. I see her call. Ignore. But yet I know if she was out and I'm calling to see where she. I done lost my mind. I'm showing up in the place with house shoes on, looking for my wife.
Right.
I'm that guy.
Right.
So I learned, and it took that full year. I learned after that full year that I need to grow up and I need to be a man instead of just trying to be her boy, her man, or something like that.
Let me make a
And
comment
go
on
ahead.
that because I don't think we ever lose it. We mature into learning how to suppress.
Okay,
it.
good call. Good call.
Okay, and so it's always there.
Yeah.
But we have learned to suppress that.
Well, I can't
we
let that.
have.
I can't let that
Okay.
go.
Okay, go ahead.
Because everybody always wants what they can't have.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree that women really are more attracted to married men?
Yes.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
And how do you deal with that? Because I mean, there's so many beautiful, smart, attractive women who
I wrote an article just this week called "Why You Love Dating Married Men." And what I talked about, and I was talking to the single sister, and what I said to them is, you got to understand that the married man, we are trained, we're sensitive, we communicate better, we smooth with that VE.
Oh, we got it.
You know, because we used to doing it. I told a single woman, I said, look, I talk to my wife 5 to 10 times a day. So if my wife was to leave me today, tomorrow I'm gonna be talking to another woman 5 to 10 times a day. Not literally, but you get what I'm saying. And she's gonna think that, oh, he's so into me, and he's so sensitive, and he's so caring, and I don't have to ask him where he's going or what he's. No, I've been trained. I'm okay with being a one-woman man for this certain amount of time. And so that's why you love us. That's why you want to be with us. Women just approach married men like it's going out of style. Like, I'm going to take him from his marriage. He's trained already. I want to grab him and make him mine now that he's trained.
So how do you have female friends? Do you have female friends, and how does that play out with your woman?
I do have female friends, and again, it's I keep going back to the word maturity.
There's
My
the word.
wife understands that I always say we all have a past, okay, and we all had friendships and relationships before we got to our marriages, and my wife understands, as I do about her previous relationships, that there are gonna be people of the opposite sex that are still my friends. And what I do is make sure that my wife knows who that person is. Invite them to the house, go have lunch, whatever, so that she understands, the single woman, if she is single, understands the kind of relationship I have with my wife, and there's not going to be
Shuts
any issue.
that down.
Yeah, shut it down right there.
Shuts it down.
And at the same time, and he hit a huge point on that. I got to go to the fact that, as he was saying, us married men, we are already trained. I'm that guy that, we'll be out kicking it, great TGIF, enjoying the patio. But I also know it's time for me to go home. Nothing good is happening for a married man after 10 o'clock. So Benny Black is leaving usually around 9:30 because I like to go put my kids to bed. But I have that much respect for my wife. I don't need her to worry as it gets later on into the night. I want to go home and be with my wife because I still love her. But an easy way to check on how good that married man is, let him leave his phone out. If you that tight in your situation, just leave your phone. If it rings, it don't matter what number's on there. You have nothing to worry about because you shouldn't have anything to hide.
Facebook
no matter
friends?
what it is.
Do you Facebook
Yeah.
friend
All the way
your man?
around.
Yeah,
Yes.
but like my man said, my wife knows all of my friends.
All of them.
And that's my standard rule for couples is that I tell couples that, hey, if your wife, if there's a problem, there's a situation, say for example, my phone rang or something, my wife was like, who's that woman, whatever, you pick the phone up and answer it. My wife has access to my email, my Facebook, my Twitter, my phone, my laptop.
Was
all
that hard to
stuff.
let go?
No.
For me, I was young when I let it go, so it was a little bit more difficult. But I felt like it was necessary in my development and
Did
maturity.
she have to fight you for it, or did you lead
No,
in
it
that
was
area?
me saying, hey, this is what I need to do in order for her not to be concerned about our marriage or my trust issues and things like that. It was me saying, and that's that maturity again. It was me saying to her, I don't want you worried about this problem in our marriage. We do not have this problem in our marriage. So I had to grow to that point and get comfortable with it.
But on the flip side, my wife is also one of those women that has also said, sometimes you just better off not knowing. My wife has said that many times. She goes, yeah, he leaves his phone on the table, but I don't even look at it and don't even worry about it because sometimes you just don't even want to know. So you just got to go with what you feel in your heart because when we got our relationship together, we always want to say, you can't stop no man from going where he wants to go. You can't stop no man from trying to rap, doing whatever he is. Same thing with a woman. You got to trust and believe that they are not going to do that to hurt you. That's what we grew up on ours. That was our biggest thing.
Okay, so last question on this part. Is it harder to date, and now you're married, but I know at least in your case, Skip, but you've all dated. a single woman who's never been married or a divorced woman who's now trying to date?
You saying is it
Is
easier?
it easier or
If you
harder?
were a single man,
Yes.
I would. Okay.
That's a good question. What I can relate to is my wife Stephanie, wonderful, but she was single for a long time, and so it took a while for me actually to get used to. I'm gonna use the word her independence because she was so independent, and so that took some growing on my part to get used to her going and coming kind of the way she wanted to go, and so it was, I want to say, a little bit more difficult, I think, in trying to, for me, in trying to get used to how she was. Dating a divorced woman, if I'm answering your question, I don't know if that's any different or not. I mean, I'd like to hear what you guys got to say.
I say two things. I know we gotta go. One thing I tell women, I say the independent woman, I say we need to stop saying that we're independent women, or women need to stop saying that and start saying they're looking for a dependable man. Stop saying independent
That's
woman.
good.
Start saying you're looking for a dependable man. And when I was single, I went to a woman's house. She had all her stuff, big money, all that kind of stuff. Window was broken. I walk in, I'm man all day. I say, I'm gonna fix that window. She said, I don't need you to fix no window. I got a handyman, I can pay. You go sit down. Don't come in here thinking you're gonna take over and all that. And I looked at her, I said, woman, I'm gonna fix the window.
She
Okay.
liked that. She liked it, didn't she?
Okay.
Liked it. Right.
Okay, man.
Right, because as independent, and I'll end on this note, as independent as we are, if you prove to us that you can handle it and that you're dependable, boy, we like that fact.
That's
Can I
that
make a
leadership.
comment to that?
Okay, man.
Because one of the things I say in the book is strong women need and want a stronger man.
Stop
Absolutely.
right there. We're going to come back. Oh, we about to go all up in it now, talking about strong black women. Are we really too strong? Are we really too much drama? We want to hear what the men have to say.